at least one part of her is Brazilian.
RJ, let's break it down.
Guys,
NYPD detective pulled from cases after going viral. A New York detective was pulled from her job because she was dancing a little bit too sexy. Melissa Mercado, a 7-year NYPD veteran, was working as a detective in the Special Victims Unit, handling serious cases like SA, R-word, and M-word, with a station behind it. But when a rap video featured Mercado dancing as a video vixen went viral, all hell broke loose. Fair use. Not gonna play the song, you're gonna just see her doing her thing with the BBL. It's a BBL, Drizzy.
is that
BBL.
it's a video clip.
That's a video clip. She was dancing in the video clip. Look at her. BBL veteran. BBL police. Look at her.
Yeah.
Critics are saying she's a disgrace to the badge. Her supporters say there's a double standard. And now, she's been yanked from all active cases. So did
Was
she deserve
sorry.
this?
She was yanked or was she yanking? What did you say?
Well, the guy who was getting yanked around is not working at the NYPD anymore. Do you remember the story we covered? So he's not the one who's getting yanked anymore.
Yeah.
She got yanked off the cases. So
Okay. Yeah.
did she deserve the backlash, or is the NYPD just salty that the woman is using her femininity to make some extra cash on the side as a private dancer?
Exotic dancer.
Exotic and private dancer.
Well, we know at least one part of her is Brazilian.
RJ, let's break it down.
Guys, before I go further, remember to rate the show by pressing the like button, follow us on our other socials, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification icon as well. But yeah, KaiR, this is always... So I think we talked about it in the past, or I mentioned this in the past. We are seeing like a slow but sure degradation of our moral standards. So in the past, it was obvious that a police officer shouldn't be involved in doing things like this. And I don't think it's only women, just to be clear. I think if there was a man, so a male police officer, if they found him dancing with nothing on but his underwear and a bow tie, that he also would be yanked off cases. Because
I can tell you a story.
I just think that those two things cannot coexist. Now, we are living in a place where people try to accept everything. So everything is possible. Everything is possible. So, or at least everything should be possible, right? So everything is gray. Nothing is black and white. Everything is gray. And if the flight attendant couldn't dance and pop her booty, a police officer shouldn't either. I'll go one step further. Politicians, police officers, firefighters, prosecutors, attorneys, doctors, they all have one thing in common. And that is that in certain areas, there are, and it can differ for each group, of course, but there are higher standards applicable.
Yeah.
And you cannot compare someone who's working, let's say, an administrative job in a multinational somewhere who decides to moonlight as an exotic dancer with a police officer. You simply cannot. A police officer needs to, when you see a police officer, you should have respect. You should think, oh, respect, right? You shouldn't think,
Let me throw some dollars at her.
Exactly.
I recognize it from last night. Let me throw some dollars.
Exactly.
Additional dollars. Because
I need some,
RJ, let's be honest, you're
I need
right.
some change.
Because in a situation like that, let's say you know how people are. You know there are some guys out there, they do the most. They recognize her the next morning in her shift, during her shift, and start throwing dollars to her. Are they wrong if they start throwing dollars in that situation at her? People will
Well,
say they're wrong. They'll say they're wrong.
You would
but
say they're wrong. You know why you would say that? Yes, you know why?
because she's wearing
Exactly.
NYPD
The moment
uniform.
the moment she has her uniform, she's not just like an attorney with a robe, or you know, you're representing something bigger. You're representing the police, which is part of the state.
Okay, how do I know you're police and you're just, or you're wearing a uniform before you start dancing?
Start playing
As in,
music.
it's
Start. See how she reacts. Start playing Sir Mix-a-Lot. Start playing.
Oh man.
Start
No,
playing.
but that's I totally agree with you on that. I
Start
totally
playing.
agree with you.
Start playing Sir Mix-a-Lot, and if she doesn't take her clothes off, she's a real police officer.
I think we should play some T-Pain so he can get some extra dollars. I'm in love with a stripper.
She
No,
rides.
but but you're right. You're right. There has to be a higher standard. So the fact they are yanking her off the case, I do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
RJ,
Now-
but what if something no one takes into consideration? What if she's undercover?
Well, then she would have been less naked than she is.
She's
right now.
undercover. She's trying to get, maybe the rapper is a dealer and she's trying to catch him in the act of trafficking.
Okay, let's
And
say
this
that's
is her
the case.
way.
Let's say that's the case. Okay.
And they don't want to blow her cover.
Okay, let's say that's the case. That would mean that the NYPD, it's the NYPD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the NYPD, or at least any official, they have, or any, so let's say law enforcement office, has a department that trains undercover agents, and a sub department that trains undercover agents how to be exotic dancers so they can fit in. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.